Right now, San Antonio police are asking for your help to find a missing mother of three who vanished 5 years ago this month. And here's what police are saying tonight on the disappearance of Bianca Carrasco.
A phone went dark one night. It never turned on again. This is the story of a mother of three who spent her whole life trying to build something better. And then, in one night, she vanished. It happened on May 1st, 2016, in San Antonio, Texas. Bianca Carrasco was 29 years old. She was an oncology nurse. She was a mother. And that night, after one final phone call, she disappeared without a trace. Her phone went silent at 8:38 p.m. It shut off completely at 10:22 p.m. It has never been turned on again. 8 years later, her sister is still asking the same question. What happened to Bianca Carrasco? If a story like this deserves to be remembered, stay with me. And if you believe cases like hers should never be forgotten, consider joining this channel for more respectful cold case coverage. Bianca Zanette Carrasco was born on July 21st, 1986. In Odessa, Texas, she was Hispanic. She was described by everyone who knew her as funny, caring, compassionate, strong, and determined. But her life did not start easy. Her parents, Barbara and Michael, were very young. Her mother was often absent during parts of Bianca's childhood. At one point, the family split apart. Bianca went back to Texas with her father. Her older sister, Giovanna, stayed behind in Virginia. Giovanna was only about 18 months older than Bianca. But that small gap didn't matter. The two girls needed each other. When Giovanna was around 10 years old, she was reunited with Bianca in Texas. Giovanna later said that seeing her sister again felt like comfort, like peace. The sisters were raised together after that by their father and stepmother in Houston. According to family accounts, their father was abusive. The two girls leaned on each other just to get through it. They shared a room. They sang together. They danced together. Bianca was the dancer. Giovanna was the more outgoing one. And Bianca had a gift. Even in painful moments, she could make people laugh. That ability to find humor in hard times stayed with her for the rest of her life. But hardship followed her into her teenage years. In 2002, when Bianca was around 17, she became pregnant. According to the family's account, her father sent her away to stay with relatives during the pregnancy. Later, she was forced to place that baby up for adoption. This experience reportedly affected her for the rest of her life. She had plans. She had people waiting for her. But some doors, once closed, don't fully reopen. After that, Bianca wanted a fresh start. She moved back to Odessa, hoping to rebuild her relationship with her mother. But the reunion wasn't what she hoped it would be. Eventually, Giovanna also moved to Odessa. The sisters lived together in an apartment. It was another turning point. It was during this time, while reconnecting with her mother's side of the family, that Bianca met Joe Daniel Carrasco. Reports say Daniel was her aunt's ex-husband. Bianca was 18. Daniel was about 29. Bianca was young. She was searching for love, for stability, for a better life. Daniel seemed to offer exactly that. She moved out of the apartment she shared with Giovanna. She moved in with Daniel. Within about a month, she was pregnant with their first child together. Over the years that followed, Bianca and Daniel had 3 children. But according to friends and family, the relationship showed signs of control and emotional strain from early on. Still, Bianca kept moving forward. In 2008, she enrolled in an accelerated nursing program in Odessa. This is where she met Julie, who would become one of her closest friends. They rode to school together. They studied together. Their kids played together. Julie remembers Bianca as funny, entertaining, endlessly caring. In 2009, Bianca and Julie graduated together and began working at the same hospital. In 2013, Bianca and her family moved to San Antonio. She didn't stop there. She enrolled in the RN program at Galen College of Nursing. And in October 2015, she earned her registered nurse license. She landed a job in the oncology department at Tuepperwein Medical Center in Live Oak, Texas. This detail matters. Bianca wasn't a woman trying to disappear from her life. She was building one, piece by piece. But by early 2016, her marriage had grown more strained than ever. According to friends and family, Bianca didn't share everything with her relatives. But she confided in her coworkers. She changed her Facebook relationship status from married to single. She began talking, more seriously, about divorce. In March 2016, reports say Bianca started seeing a local man, known publicly only as Steve. That is not his real name. Reports say Steve did not initially know Bianca was still legally married. When Daniel found out, everything escalated. According to family accounts, Daniel went through phone records and discovered messages between Bianca and Steve. He reportedly called Steve directly and told him Bianca was married. Steve told Bianca that he didn't want to continue the relationship unless she got a divorce. Julie believes this is what finally pushed Bianca to talk to Daniel honestly about ending the marriage. And in the final days before she vanished, the warning signs kept piling up. Bianca wanted a divorce. She was planning to meet with a lawyer. She was thinking about custody of her children. She was quietly looking for work that could support her and the kids on her own. Reports say Daniel moved money out of their shared bank account into one only he could access. Bianca bought herself a separate cell phone. Reports say Daniel sent threatening messages to her workplace. Bianca showed those messages to her coworkers. One day she left work early. She was afraid Daniel might show up there. And then, there is a line that still hangs over this entire case. According to coworkers and family, Bianca had joked, not long before she disappeared, that if she ever went missing, they would know exactly what happened. That is not proof against anyone. But it tells you something about the fear she was carrying in those final weeks. Sunday, May 1, 2016. This was the day everything changed. In the early afternoon, Bianca spoke with Giovanna. Giovanna offered to take the kids if things got too tense at home. Bianca told her it was okay. She said she and Daniel were going to get divorced. She said she had an appointment with a divorce lawyer that Friday. She wanted to talk about custody. She also told Giovanna that Daniel had been acting strangely. One night, she said, she woke up and found him standing over her, just watching her sleep. According to Giovanna, Bianca's voice was calm, but she was clearly, seriously, thinking about leaving. That evening played out like any other. Bianca left home around 3 p.m. to run errands. She stayed in text contact with her oldest daughter. She came home around 8 p.m. She posted Snapchat videos of her children. She put them to bed. At 8:08 p.m., she sent a text to Steve. At 8:38 p.m., she called him. That was the last known moment of activity on her phone. For the next 2 hours, her phone stayed silent, but it remained inside the house. Investigators reportedly noted that Daniel's phone also showed no activity during that same window, from 8:08 to 10:22 p.m. Then, at 10:22 p.m., Bianca's phone turned off. It has never turned on again. Sit with that for a second. What happened in that gap? Between 8:38 and 10:22, something changed. But what? The only account of what happened next comes from Daniel. According to reports, he said he and Bianca argued that night. He told Giovanna, and later police, that Bianca left the house on foot. He said he was leaving around the same time to drive to Odessa for work, and that he took their youngest child with him. He said he saw Bianca walking alone on the street as he drove away. But some details didn't add up. Bianca's car stayed at the house. Her purse was described differently in different accounts. Her wedding ring was left behind. Daniel reportedly said he was driving to Odessa for a job, but family members later said he had actually quit that job weeks earlier. And he took the youngest child with him, even though that child normally went to daycare during the week. When Giovanna reached him the next day, he reportedly sounded calm, almost too calm. These are questions, not accusations. No one has been arrested. No one has been charged in Bianca's disappearance. On Monday, May 2, Giovanna tried calling Bianca. No answer. At first, she assumed her sister was simply busy at work. But later that afternoon, she called Bianca's workplace directly. She learned that Bianca had never shown up for her shift. That detail alone was alarming. Bianca was a dedicated nurse. She wasn't the kind of person who skipped work without calling. Giovanna reached out to Daniel. He told her they'd had a big fight, and Bianca had left. Something about that explanation didn't sit right with her. On Tuesday, May 3, Giovanna called Bianca's workplace again. Still no sign of her. She contacted San Antonio police and pushed to file a missing person report. According to family accounts, officers initially hesitated, but Giovanna insisted something was wrong. Bianca was officially reported missing that day. Police then reached out to Daniel. According to one family account, an officer once called him while visiting Giovanna, and Daniel claimed the officer had the wrong number and hung up. Later, he did agree to speak with detectives. He reportedly told them that Bianca had been having an affair and that she may have left with Steve. Police also contacted Steve. He was out of town at first. Officers later spoke with him directly. According to family and source accounts, Steve did not have useful information about Bianca's whereabouts, and he was later cleared of involvement. On May 4, Child Protective Services stepped in. A daycare worker had reported concerns, citing frequent conflict between Bianca and Daniel, along with Bianca's disappearance. CPs made an emergency decision to remove all 3 children. The kids were placed with Giovanna for about 6 months while the investigation continued. For her, it was painful and meaningful at the same time. Those children were the closest living connection she had to her sister. But later, when CPs closed its case, the children were returned to Daniel. Giovanna says she was never able to see them again. Another loss, on top of everything else. Search efforts began. San Antonio police issued a public alert. Flyers went up with Bianca's photo and description. She was 5'1", about 125 pounds, with brown eyes, black hair, and a tattoo of the letter B on her right hip. She was last seen wearing colorful pastel leggings and a blue jean jacket. Searchers combed her neighborhood near the 16,000 block of Walnut Creek Drive in northeast San Antonio. Texas EquiSearch brought in ATVs, tracking dogs, and drones. Nothing was found. No trace, no belongings, nothing at all. How does a search this thorough turn up absolutely nothing? On May 23, 2016, police announced that foul play could not be ruled out. No suspects were officially named. Daniel and Steve were reportedly considered persons of interest at different points, though Steve was later cleared, according to family and source accounts. Daniel was asked to take a polygraph test. He agreed at first. Then he changed his mind. He never took it. What would that test have shown, if he had? As weeks turned into months, the investigation slowed down, and the facts that followed only deepened the mystery. Bianca never touched her bank account again. She never renewed her driver's license. She never renewed her nursing license, the one she had worked so hard to earn. She never contacted her children, never her sister, never her friends or coworkers. Her social media went completely silent. According to both Giovanna and Julie, this was completely unlike her. They both believed, without hesitation, that Bianca would never have chosen to leave her children behind. She had plans. She had a lawyer's appointment. She had a life she was actively building. People do not walk away from all of that voluntarily, without a single trace, and never look back. But her family never stopped looking. Bianca's mother helped with searches. Giovanna kept speaking out publicly, refusing to let the case fade into silence. Julie reconnected with Giovanna years later, and the two of them worked together to keep Bianca's name alive through interviews, podcasts, social media campaigns, and public events. Their message never changed. Bianca is still missing, and someone out there knows what happened. In 2021, 5 years after she disappeared, San Antonio Police spokesperson officer Chris Ramos confirmed the case was still open. He said investigators believe Bianca was last seen around 10 p.m., leaving her home, though many details remained unclear. At the time, there were no new leads. Still, police said they were not giving up. In 2024, the push for answers grew louder. News Nation reported on a renewed campaign led by Bianca's family and supporters, including billboards across San Antonio and a wider social media effort. A group called Project Absentis, made up of former law enforcement members, began raising awareness on TikTok. They publicly offered to help arrange a polygraph test for Daniel, a chance, they said, for him to clear his name. In May 2024, the organization Season of Justice launched a billboard for Bianca in San Antonio, putting her face back in front of the public after nearly a decade. On July 20, 2024, Bianca's family and friends gathered at Friesenhahn Park for an outreach event. They handed out flyers. They prayed together. The date was tied to what would have been Bianca's 38th birthday. Family members traveled from Houston and from Odessa to be there. Giovanna told supporters she would never stop fighting for her sister. The campaign used hashtags like #HelpFinBianca Carrasco and Pink4Bianca. Crime Stoppers offered a reward of up to $5,000 for information leading to an arrest. Bianca's family believes, based on everything they know, that she did not leave on her own. She loved her children deeply. She missed her youngest child's birthday. She missed Mother's Day. She never reached out, not once. In 8 years, she never touched her money. She never renewed the licenses she'd worked so hard to earn. She was planning her future, not walking away from it. That is the family's belief. The case officially remains open, and so many questions remain unanswered. Did Bianca really leave the house on foot that night? Did anyone see her outside, walking alone? Why did her phone go silent right after 8:38 p.m.? Why was it turned off completely at 10:22? Where was she during those missing 2 hours? Why was the youngest child taken to Odessa that same night? Why did Daniel say he was going to a job he had already quit weeks earlier? What happened inside that house? Did Bianca ever make it out of the neighborhood at all? And who, if anyone, actually knows the truth? Bianca Carrasco spent her whole life trying to build something better for herself. A better childhood, a better career, a better home for her 3 children. On May 1st, 2016, she was finally preparing to move forward a divorce, a new start, a safer life for her kids. Then, that night, her phone went silent, and it never came back. 8 years later, her family is still searching, still posting her photo, still handing out flyers at parks and public events, still waiting for one person to finally tell the truth. Bianca did not just disappear from a home in San Antonio. She disappeared from the lives of 3 children who still deserve to know what happened to their mother.